Stacks from guides. Stacks from guides. Yeah, stacks from guides. Those are pretty cool. Stacks from guides. I think there are some guides on nootropics, and these are some stacks from them.
Welcome to another episode of Stacks from Guides. Stacks from guys. Stacks from dudes, man. Dudes giving you stacks. It's stacks from guides. Our guides. We've got 3 of them. The Noopept Pro Stack List, which is the culmination of about 4 years of concentrated Noopept experimentation to find the best pro Noopept stacks that are applied to very specific brain states that are highly advanced and freaking awesome. And then we've got 2 other guides. One of them is called Smarter, Better, Faster, which we're gonna we're not going to read from Smarter, Better, Faster today. We're reading from the Racetam God Guide. But SBF is a kind of on the novice level, but still has very powerful advanced stacks in it. It's like the guide to get if you're new to nootropics. And then we've got the mighty Racetam God Guide, which we're going to discuss today, and we'll discuss 2 stacks from the Racetam God Guide. Racetam God Guide is a breakdown of just about 80 plus Racetam nootropic stacks, just like line item list of powerful nootropic stacks, both sublingual and oral on the Racetams. We've got Aniracetam stacks, we got Paracetam stacks, we have Oxiracetam stacks, we've got freaking Nephiracetam stacks. I'm not a huge fan of Nephiracetam, but we've got some stacks in there because some people might respond well to it. We've got Paramiracetam stacks. We've got Phenylparacetam stacks. We've got Faciracetam stacks. And we have Coliracetam stacks. Want to know how I remembered all that stuff? I took an Oxiracetam Theocrine stack today. Okay, so stacks from guides. This is the Racetam God Guide, and this is a particularly interesting stack that is, I guess, relatively simple. It's not that complex, but it does put an ingredient called Vinpocetine in with the Racetam, which is aligned with a strategy that I think a lot of folks get a lot of benefit from, could get a lot of benefit from if they haven't tried it, which is to combine Vinpocetine, which is a compound that improves brain oxygen and blood flow, with Racetams. Okay, very, very cool stuff. There's a functional MRI study on Paracetam some time ago that said that demonstrated that there's activated regions of the brain from Paracetam. So the regions of the brain that Paracetam activated, there was increased blood flow in those regions of the brain. And so that, among a few other reasons, is why Vinpocetine with Racetam seems to stack well, because the Vinpocetine opens up the capacity for blood flow to function better in those activated regions of the brain, which is a very cool thing. Good, solid, functioning cerebral blood flow is, among a few other things like good, solid glucose functioning, not having a toxic brain, etc., was one of the cornerstones of good brain function. Okay, so here are 2 of the stacks. Stack number 1, 700 milligrams Aniracetam, 700 milligrams of the mighty Aniracetam, 10 milligrams Noopept, 100 milligrams CDP choline, and then 5 milligrams Vinpocetine, okay? So Aniracetam and Noopept together are just a profound combo. Mostly stimulation, working memory, focus, processing speed, drive to action, not so much of anything else. And we're really talking about information retention city right there. But we're bringing in CDP choline in this stack to have a choline source with the Racetam and the Noopept, because both of them are going to increase cholinergic signaling, and CDP choline works on sensitizing or increasing dopamine receptors. So and it's very motivating. It's stimulatory. It's an acute stimulatory effect, and so CDP choline, adds a good solid drive to action, productive motivation to the mix, while supplying some choline for acetylcholine, and then Vinpocetine again supplying a compound that improves blood flow and oxygen functionality in the brain, in response to a Racetam. I think that I found that Vinpocetine stacks super well with, I think the only thing I haven't stacked Vinpocetine with, if I can remember, is Nephiracetam, and you know what, I probably did. I just can't remember off the top of my head because I've never looked at it and been like, oh, that's significant. But Vinpocetine stacks very well with most Racetams as far as I can tell. Here's the explanation, because in every one of these guides we have an explanation that says, like, this is the applicability of the stack, this is how you could use the stack, this is what the stack's intended to do. This is one of the most effective Aniracetam stacks there is. It brings in a powerful cholinergic punch with a moderate dose of Noopept, adds the motivating effect of CDP choline and the mental clarity effect of Vinpocetine. This is a full-on productivity Aniracetam stack. Okay, number 2, moving right along. 700, this is the second stack, 700 milligrams Aniracetam, 2 Cortex caps. Okay, that's our pre-made stack. 200 milligrams caffeine. Okay, Mr. Happy, who is a guy who has a handle called Mr. Happy in the Longevity Forum, started this 100-page thread on uridine, choline source, DHA, and a few other things. It's called like the Mr. Happy stack, in which he talks about uridine, alpha GPC, DHA, B vitamins, and some minerals, and that essentially being the basis of a very good stack that improves brain performance. Well, a whole 94-page thread ensued with this guy starting this thread saying take those compounds in this very particular ingredient quantity, here's the science behind it, with a bunch of people, probably 80% or so, saying, wow, I got profound benefits, and like 20%, like the normal, I didn't respond to it or it made me feel weird or something, kind of thing. But the thing is, one of the things that they highlight in that thread on longevity is that caffeine interacts with uridine in a way that really amplifies the effect of either the uridine or the caffeine. And so we even considered with Cortex bringing in some caffeine at some point because of the interaction with uridine, and we're still kind of debating it. I don't want folks to be like, oh, well, it's caffeine in the stack, it's making you feel stimulated. Yeah, it's really, in that hypothetical, it'd be the caffeine, the uridine, and the CDP choline, and the artichoke extract and the Cortex stack. But what I came to find is that Aniracetam stacks extremely well with Cortex and caffeine. This is one of those really crank up the amperage stacks. If you don't like highly stimulatory stacks, you're probably not gonna like that stack. If you really like highly stimulatory stacks, you're really gonna like that stack, and you're gonna feel what it feels like to fire on all cylinders like a madman. Here's the explanation. Fair warning, this stack is comparable to modafinil, because it really is. And for some, it will be profoundly more stimulatory, because modafinil is not so much stimulatory, it's just a little different kind of wakefulness. Cortex is our pre-made stack that combines uridine with CDP choline and low-dose artichoke extract for a powerfully stimulating nootropic combination. But here's the thing, Cortex interacts with caffeine in a powerful way through the neurotransmitter adenosine. When I did look into the interaction between uridine and caffeine, it is through adenosine signaling. The combination of that stack with Aniracetam provides such a powerful nootropic experience, I suggested to many executives that I consult for brain performance. There's some high-level consulting we do, it's like $5,000 for like C-suite executives, and these guys really need the amperage cranked up, and that's one of the stacks that I suggested to them, and they all love it. That's it. That is from the Mighty Racetam Guide. We've got 3 of them. The Noopept Pro Stack List. Get it at livecortex.com. All digital. Download it for an iPad, mobile, phone, whatever you got. The Racetam Guide, which we just discussed. 80 plus pro Racetam stacks like that and explanations. And the Mighty Smarter, Better, Faster, which is a guide for folks new to nootropics, but also stack-ridden. Thanks for watching.